Hi guys, it's me, it's Shannon. Happy holidays from Sheepless Needles, from me, the cats, and the bunnies. So this is the holiday episode. It's going to be really short, really sweet. Okay, maybe not sweet, maybe a little bit grinchy. We'll see. Because dudes, I've got knitting to do. So Steve, roll the intro. The holiday edition of Sheepless Needles. This is a vegan podcast that is not about being vegan, where we do all sorts of fun stuff, where we like knit, we drink good beer, we talk about games, we talk about just whatever's going on. So today we are kicking it off with the Dayton Beer Company, Java Man Cometh. It is American style stout with coffee. Ooh, a little bit of a glare on there, sorry. This is a solid beer, people. Let me open it. I know I'm going to end up with lipstick on my teeth, so that's your Christmas gift. Oh, nectar of the gods. Cheers to you and yours. All foam. Okay, so if you're new here, this is a train wreck of a podcast where I just kind of go off the rails and talk about knitting, talk about hobbies, talk about like whatever, right? So pull up a chair, grab a little knitting project. I do think this is going to be a shorter episode, and you'll find out why in a second. But if you are new, there's no, I don't follow any type of formula for this. So every time you tune in, it's probably going to be a little bit different. The only constant will probably be me being goofy, the bunnies being really cute, and beer. Sometimes I might have a mixed cocktail. That's redundant. It should just be cocktail, because cocktail would mean it's a mixed drink. I'm a dork. So today, if you are new, yes, there are bunnies in the background. You can't really tell what's going on back there, but okay, right back there, that's one ear, but you're looking at his butt, and he's probably asleep. He likes to hang out. We have to put an X pen between one ear and the guys that are right behind me because one ear is a little bit nippy and we don't want to go to the vet. So that's what's going on behind me there. Um, so if you are new, yes, I have bunnies, but they are sanctuary rabbits from a rescue that my husband and I ran, and we retired in early 2020. So I'm a little bit of a train wreck today, guys, because it's the holidays, right? And I am knitting a Christmas gift for someone. And to say that it is taking much longer than I thought it would is an understatement. You know, sometimes when you start a project, you're like, yeah, that's probably, that's probably going to take a while. Okay, Mr. West and your 80 gazillion stitches. I know. And you know what? There's no surprise here. Everything I've knit from Stephen West has taken time away from life. But it is a Christmas gift, so I have to have it done, right? And today is the 19th. I'm under the wire. So I'm going to try to show this to you. I don't believe the person who it's going to is going to be watching this, so I don't think there's a spoiler here, but if there is, this is your gift, and Merry friggin' Christmas. Okay, so, oh, good God. This is just, you guys. Okay, I don't even know if I can get this whole thing on here, but this is the Botanic Shawl by Stephen West. Sorry, I keep going out of mic here. It's really big, and I don't know. Let me stand up and see if I can show it to you a little bit better than what's going on here. Oh, ignore the just crazy outfit. Oh yeah, you can't. I can't even get it. Oh yeah. So there you go. Um. Okay. Let's talk about this beast of a gift. So it is a great. It's the Botanic Shawl, like I said, and I will put links to it in the show notes in case you're interested in knitting this. It is actually a really great knit, and I will tell you something. People always look at Stephen West's patterns. I was just going to call him Stephen, like I'm his best friend. um, and they're always like, "Oh, I'd love to do that, but it looks so complicated." They're really not. I mean, the stuff that I have done, it's not that it's complicated. It's more that it's just a lot of knitting and you have to commit to it. So there's that. But this pattern in particular has a pattern repeat that is very easy to commit to memory, very easy to just pick up and go, very easy to figure out where you are if you put it down and walk away from it. And I bring that up because that's exactly what happened. I don't remember the exact date that I put this on the needles. What ended up happening is I cast it on and then I put it down and I didn't go back to it, right? Which I have a tendency to do because, like, oh my God, something sparkly. And I am like completely off track, right? Which is what happens with knitting patterns where I'll start something and then somebody else will be knitting something. I'll be like, dude, I want to get that on my needles. And, so on and so forth. And I think anybody who knits or any type of craft, really, I think that happens to all of us. So anyway, I had started the shawl and I put it down. I don't know why I can't remember. I'm sure it was another Stephen West pattern that it doesn't matter. I put it down. When I picked it back up, I totally had no idea where I was. Like, did I finish a pattern repeat? And the pattern repeat, I don't want to give the pattern away because it's a paid for pattern, but I can essentially tell you this. The pattern repeat has 6 sections in it, and each section is 4 rows. So a pattern repeat is essentially 24 rows, right? So when I put it down, I was like, did I finish the repeat? And it was really early on. I was like, I don't think I finished the repeat. And so I looked at it, I was like, I have no idea where I am on this pattern. And I put it down on the coffee table. I was like, oh, I'm screwed because I'm never going to figure this out. And I went about my business and did something else. I don't know what I was doing. Probably goofing around on the computer probably playing ESO with my handsome Khajiit Drotava character. Anyway, so I thought better of that and went back to it and just looked at it. I was like, oh my God, I'm on, I think I have 4 more rows left in the repeat. I was able to figure it out really quickly, pick it back up and just start going. So it is a pattern that is really sensical when you look at it. Like you know where you are, you can stop and start. I think for someone who's newish to knitting, I think that is a super great thing to know about a pattern, that it is understandable, that you aren't going to be having to take notes to figure stuff out. Like it's solid that way. So the other thing, and this is going to bring up another topic for this podcast, other than this great hat that I'm wearing, which no, it's not knit, but okay, guys. Now I'm going to preface this in 2 ways. Preface number 1, I literally, if you watch my podcast, you might think that I have a drinking problem, but honestly, guys, I have 1 beer a day, if even that, okay? So I'm prefacing that so that you understand the next comment I make is not alcohol derived. But I have a tendency to fall asleep when I knit. I will sit there and I'll knit and I'll jolt up and I'll be like, oh shit. I fell asleep no less than 4 times so far knitting this shawl. No less than 4. And I don't know why that is. Part of it's probably because where I knit, it's like my comfy spot, right? It's a comfortable, ergonomic spot for me to knit in. But if you throw a blanket and the cat in the mix, I am out like a light. Like, it's just, she's done. She's cooked. Timer went off. So I guess what I'm getting at here is my sleeping is not alcohol. It's not like I'm drunk knitting and passing out. I'm literally awake knitting happily, and then all of a sudden I realize I've fallen asleep. You would think I'm like 90. And it's just okay. So anyway, I've fallen asleep knitting, and it has not messed up this shawl at all. I've fallen asleep literally probably more than 4 times in the middle of knitting this. So the pattern is 1, beginner friendly, 2, very easy to remember, 3, if you fall asleep while you're knitting it, you're still okay. And if that isn't a bulletproof pattern, people, I don't know what is. So cheers to Mr. West's Botanic Shawl. If it can make it through me falling asleep 4 times, it certainly can make it through you just knitting normally. And you'd probably get it done a lot quicker than I have. So, bulletproof pattern, I like it. I have said this before, and I will say it again, that I am really not a fast knitter. I am a continental, no, I'm an English style knitter. I throw with my right hand. I have tried and tried and tried and tried to teach myself flicking and picking. You guys, my index finger on my right hand will not move in the right way. Like, I don't know, like, my hands are having trouble learning that. And I don't want to try to learn that in the middle of a pattern that I'm giving as a gift. But I do know that if I could learn how to knit differently, it would probably be quicker. So needless to say, I am not a quick knitter. So the repeats, the pattern repeats, the 24 row repeat literally takes me anywhere from 4.5 to 6 hours to knit, probably depending if I fall asleep or not, but you know. So, or if a cat jumps in the mix, or I have yarn barf, which, you guys, the yarn that I'm using, oh my God, Vanna White, where are you when I need you? Sheepjes, right? Whirlette and Whirl. Center pole. Center pole is just a recipe for yarn barf. I don't know what else to say. So a lot of my holdup is I will get a section of yarn barf that will take me 45 minutes to figure out how to untangle it. I think in the future, 1, pull from the outside, but 2, just cut it and just weave in the end and keep going. You know what I mean? That's the lesson learned on this one. So I am a slow knitter, and where I am at in the pattern, and I kind of talked to my husband about this earlier, there are, I think it's like 20 repeats that you have to do. I've done 19. You guys, I have to give this as a Christmas gift, and I still have the end of the pattern, which is a good 6 hours of knitting. So I have made the executive decision that I am not doing the last pattern repeat, and I'm just going to move into the border, like the finishing, and then the border and then the finishing, which I don't know if this will make sense, but let me see if I can show this to you. I'm sorry. I think I just knocked the mic with my shoulder. So, you know, okay. So when you're looking at this, there's this section here. I have not, it's like a horizontal section versus the vertical grid. I needed to just start the horizontal section and then be done with it. So as soon as I get off this, I'm jumping right back into this because I've got to get this shit done, right? Because I need to wash it and block it. It's 100% cotton yarn. It's fingering weight. I really like the yarn. I have no complaints. The yarn barf is my fault. It is not the yarn's fault. So if you have ever been curious about knitting with sheepjes, I have no idea. Somebody, somewhere, phonetically tell me how to pronounce that. It is great yarn. I love it. I know people say it comes at a price tag, and then, you know what? Sometimes you're going to pay what something is worth to you. So you make that decision and go about your business. That's what I got there. Cheers to that. Don't let anyone yarn shame you for whatever yarn you use. I don't care if it's like dishy. I don't care if it's sugar and cream, whatever yarn you love, you wear that yarn proudly, just as you should, and screw anybody who tells you differently, particularly people who are telling you to knit with wool, because you know what I say to them. Steve would have to bleep it, so I just won't. Okay, so that leads me. Okay, so that's the knitting that you're getting out of this, and then that's it. Sorry, because I gotta get on it. Okay, so that's that. Let's move on. Okay, so other happy news. Other happy news would be that if you have, and this would be the exercise portion of Sheepless Needles. Um, oh my God, I keep this setup, you guys. I will figure it out eventually, but it's just not going to be today. Anyway, I have a Peloton. If you have a Peloton, the PZ Pack, the Power Zone Challenge is starting January 3rd. If you don't have a Peloton, basically what it is it's you join teams and you ride your Peloton either 3 to 4 times a week, and they tell you what rides you have to do. And you're on a team, and basically you're trying, like, you want all the members of your team to do all the rides. And sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So it's not like a stiff competition. It's a competition with yourself to keep yourself in shape in the new year. So anything you can do, I think, mentally and physically is good. So that being said, someone on the Peloton app was asking if there were any other crafters, knitters, or crocheters out there. I was like, yeah, I knit. They're like, oh, do you knit while you ride the bike? I was like, oh, I had never thought of that. I sweat too much. But what ended up happening is they created a Creators of Peloton team, and that will be the team for the challenge. If you have a Peloton, you're obviously a crafter if you're watching this, or you're a gamer, whatever. Join that team, Creators of Peloton, because not only is it about just keeping yourself in check, but you can share, like, what's inspiring you. And I like to meet other crafters and other knitters and just other people with similar interests, obviously, because it's a large world, but it's a small world, right? So anyway, I joined that team. So January 3rd, that challenge starts, and I am thoroughly looking forward to it because I have been stress eating like there's no tomorrow. Example would be out of the Bad Manners cookbook, Brave New Meal. If you don't have it, go buy it. It's really good. I will leave a link in the show notes. Cheryl, I'm hoping you're enjoying your cookbook, and let me know what you've made out of it. I made the Blueberry Thyme Rolls yesterday, and they are gone. And there were 12 of them, and Steve only had 4. I had 8. I'm just stressed out, you guys. It's been a tough couple weeks. I'm okay. There's nothing, life ending going on, but it's just been stressful, and work is really, really stressful. So I'm just eating my way through it. That's what's happening. Now, here's the positive to this. I'm not drinking my way through it, right? I might be eating, but I'm also exercising my way through it. So I'm trying to be healthy. And that being said, during the holidays, this is more of a serious thing I want to talk about. I probably shouldn't have beer in my hand, but I'm going to, and I don't care because that's just who I am. When I am upset, or when I am depressed, or like just if I am having a emotional response to something, I do not drink. I just don't. I will not have any alcohol because, one, I need to kind of work through whatever I'm going through, and I don't think that numbing it for me with alcohol is the right way to deal with something. That's probably because of the family that I grew up in and just lessons that you learn, right? So during the holidays, because it is stressful and because it can be hard for many reasons. I think the holidays can remind you of people who aren't with us anymore, or it can just, it's just a tough time. So you have to take care of yourself. And I guess if I have anything to say about this train wreck of an episode is do what makes you feel good. You know, if you want to take a break from knitting, if you want to take, or if you want to just knit and not talk to anyone, you do you. Make yourself happy, make yourself healthy. If you don't start with yourself, you cannot be there for anyone else, right? And that's a really hard thing to put into practice. I think it's really easy sometimes to concentrate on someone else's problem than dealing with your own. And I have learned for myself that when things start going in a direction that I don't want them to go in, I have to stop and I have to clear my mind. And that's where, honestly, that's where exercise comes in. It has nothing to do with weight control or diet. I am who I am. I'm going to eat what I eat. And I think that I am never going to be, a size 0 model. Dudes, I'm 50. It doesn't matter what I look like anymore. That time sailed, that ship sailed a long time ago. Hey, One Ear. Hi, buddy. Look at that cutie patootie. He's so handsome. Anyway, see, now I'm just off the rails because I don't remember what I was saying, but I'm sure it was great. Seriously, I really don't remember what I was saying. That's what happens with bunnies. Anyway, I guess really my point is you have to take care of yourself to take care of others. And I think anybody who creates to some degree creates to one, let something out, right? And it could be a happy thing. It could be a sad thing. It can be all, whatever the emotion is. People who create are releasing something, and something that we hope resonates with someone else to receive it and maybe be inspired by it. And so on, kind of like the Well of Blossom commercial where it's like, I probably just totally aged myself, but it's like, anyway, if you know the Well of Blossom commercial, I don't even need to explain. Go look it up, young people. Just go look it up. Anyway, maybe Steve will put a link into that. That is my hope, I guess, for the holidays, is that you take care of yourself, guard yourself. You are important. You are special. You are worthy. Don't let anybody or anyone, whether they're family, friends, or not, tell you any differently. And I know that holidays tend to be a time when people unintentionally insert opinions that can be hurtful. And if I've ever done that, I certainly don't intend to. So just know I'm here with you. 100%. I'm here with you. So is Dayton Beer Company. So is knitting. So are cats. So are bunnies. Oh, now look at them. Good God, you guys. So that's it. That's the holiday episode. That's what I got for you. Just take care of yourself. Because I love all of you. And I want us all to thrive so that we can be there for all the creatures who need our help. And speaking of creatures, I always share a bunny story. Anyway, we had a bunny, Guillermo, who I'm having trouble pronouncing his name. Probably because I have no idea why, because I'm not even through a beer. Anyway, he came into the shelter and we brought him to our house to get him out of the shelter because he was having some trouble there. And he was a really funny rabbit. He was super chill, and he was upstairs in Steve's office. And one day he had a great adventure. Okay, so anyway, we have been redoing our house, like different sections of our house over the years. And Steve has an air duct upstairs. And when I say upstairs, I'm in the basement. We have a main level and then we have a dormer. And Steve's office is in the dormer. In the dormer, Guillermo was living upstairs in that area with Steve in his office. Guillermo hopped into one of the air returns, and Steve didn't know it. I am all the way down in the basement, and I hear this crash, and I'm like, what the hell was that? Didn't think anything about it, right? Went on about my business, because sometimes there's just noises in old homes. Well, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes later, Steve's like, I don't know where Guillermo went. I was like, what are you talking about? I can't find him. What do you mean you can't find him? And then all of a sudden it hit me. Oh my God. Steve, was the duck cover not on? Guillermo took a trip through our air return system in the house and literally dropped from the dormer all the way down to the basement. That was the crash I heard. Now, immediately, I am hyperventilating because I'm like, oh my God, the furnace! He's going to go into the furnace. I think it was summer, you guys, so I don't even think the heat was on. We had to take apart. Okay, first of all, we come downstairs and we're kind of knocking on the air returns. And eventually we heard scurrying. And sure enough, Guillermo was just like hanging out. I was like, well, at least we know he's alive, right? And I'm laughing now. You guys, it was not funny at the time because I was super concerned that he was hurt. We had to take apart all of the ducting from the furnace in the basement and to the return that drops from the dormer. And guess who was just hanging out in the ductwork when we got it down to the floor? Oh, that would have been Guillermo. And guess who couldn't have been bothered at all? He was not hurt. He was not phased. He was happy as a clam. Now, he did have like cobwebs on his little whiskers. But other than that, he had the time of his life. And once we got him out, like, I mean, he was totally fine. He was quite pleased with himself. So Steve had to put the ductwork all back together, and we took Guillermo back upstairs. Eventually, I believe another member of Darn started fostering Guillermo for us because we tended to cycle through. We'd get them out of the shelter and find a foster home for the rabbit. So as far as I know, Guillermo lived a long and happy life. I don't know. I am trying to remember. I believe the foster was a foster fail. And I think Guillermo lived quite a long life. And you know what? He was an adventurer and he had a mustache and we loved him. And that is the bunny story of the day. And the other bunny story of the day would be that like pile of cuteness right down there. So, guys, have an adventure like Guillermo. Take a chance. You never know where you'll end up. You might get some cobwebs up in there, but you will never succeed if you don't try. I love you guys. Happy holidays. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.